Welcome to episode 18. I call it my Conquer Stroke Through Love episode. Another way you can think of it, I originally thought of titling it, first time ice skating after a stroke, but that wouldn't mean anything to anyone, I assume. Because my theme for these series of videos, one of the many things I've covered, is to recover. It's important you do something that you love to do so that it's less painless to do it, because doing things after a stroke, they're painful enough. So you don't need to add to the pain of not wanting to do it. Let's phrase it that way. Ice skating was the most difficult exercise I have done so far. It challenges your balance, coordination, uses muscles the average person very rarely uses. And for me, I've lost use of those muscles, and it's a revelation to regain slightly that use, because it seems my body seems to be better balanced. Anyway, the point is, do something that you really love to do. Maybe you start to play tennis again, golf, whatever, but make sure it's not boring you, because it's difficult enough after a stroke to perform any exercises, let alone those that are doubly painful because you hate doing them. Believing you can do it is so important, and I finally took that challenge myself for skating. If you don't believe in you, why should others? And in order to be sure you will stick to it, try something that you love to do. By the way, if you like these series of videos, please smash the like button and subscribe button so that I can spread the word. Anyway, for me, I love skating. Starting as a kid, I loved skating. As I did my other pastimes, like running, playing guitar, playing golf, the thing I remember first is my first love, if you will, was skating. And some of my earliest, fondest memories are ice skating on an ice pond. And I was obviously an obvious pond skater. It was in the 50s. There were sort of fewer rinks back then. And there was more cold. That was very cold 10 years of winter. I went daily from roughly December to March. Walked through some woods for roughly a 2 to 4 hour pond hockey pickup game every day. In college, I skated in the Fens, which is the Back Bay of Boston, in Edinburgh, Scotland. While a student at the university, I was also a frequent visitor of Murrayfield Ice Rink. And in Glasgow, when I eventually became a professor, I was a regular at East Kilbride Ice Rink, which is over an hour ride by bus. So, I was dedicated. I still managed to carry my skates from America and skate. though a lot less frequently. And Scottish skating, by the way, back then, not, I don't know about today, I've been years since I've been back to Scotland, was where young teenagers, and working class teenagers especially, on the whole, went to encounter the opposite sex. The DJ was very important to the experience. And then when I was an export director in Bordeaux, France, when I went on a business trip to Holland, I said, I have to next time bring my skates, and I'll skate like Hans Brinker in the stories and on my next business trip. Skating was, in other words, important to my life. Then I had the stroke. And I went 20 years without putting on my skates. Because I was so devastated is one reason. And what a mess my life had become. Plus, I didn't have the coordination and balance nor the strength to feel safe and secure on skates. Finally, after 20 years, roughly, I have had an additional incentive to make me want to skate again. My granddaughter is coming to visit me from Canada, and she is entering into skating competitions now, and she wants to practice somewhere, even though she's only coming for a short few days. She has a competition when she gets back to Canada, and she wants to be sharp. So my excuse, by the way, when I flew to Canada to visit them, my excuse back then for why I didn't bring my skate was because I have to bring my skates and I can't carry them. The plane doesn't allow it, whatever. It's like, and there's no room in the luggage to pack a bag and throw it on the plane. So that was my excuse. In the past, we focused when the kids came to Sarasota on Florida type things like the beach, or the pool, and so she's coming to Sarasota, and I thought, wow, there's a rink in Sarasota area, and now there's a big oops on my part, because that's a sign of I have to fess up or skate. The gig is up, in other words. Also, part of the reason I didn't skate was it was too much to accept that something that I used to love so much, now I would skate with effort, whereas before I skated without effort. And with such fluidity of movement and coordination, and it only pointed out to me and to others, the observers, and into that, read other skaters in the public, that I had a stroke, or minimally, that I was an old man skating like a 3-year-old. I'm showing some videos of me when I arrived at the Ellerton Arena, and these are my first steps on the ice. And then after 20 minutes, a person very kindly took the camera and made a video of me skating a little back and forth. I had a stroke. So to accomplish anything in your new body, accept the stroke so you can progress. Otherwise, your pride will get in the way of recovery. By the way, if you look at my 2 videos, the first video, notice my right hand is a little shaking, and by the second video, I control it better. I didn't have it easy growing up, and so I was accustomed to overcoming difficulties. You have to think of the stroke as one more difficulty that you have to overcome. The enormity of just what happened to your body and your brain, will overwhelm you otherwise. For a short time, I was totally overwhelmed for a long time. And you can't believe what happened to you, and you can't believe how little other people understand, because they've been sick before, so they understand, oh, you have a cold, yeah, and they haven't had a cold, so they know what it involves. Oh, you broke your leg. They've broken a leg. But very few people had strokes, and, it seems like maybe people don't really understand, shall we say. By the way, please like and subscribe and help me spread the word, as I say, so that my word is all is not necessarily lost. It seems like in the moment it is lost, but it's not necessarily. With that, I will leave you, and I hope for you the best possible recovery. Until next episode, goodbye.